Yo, what is going on, everybody? I'm going to make it short but punchy today because I got to get going, got to get ready for work, got to iron my shirt. I have a big day ahead of me. But this, I just couldn't let go. I had to jump on and share this with you guys because this is unbelievably insidious, let me tell you. Where do I even start? So Joe Biden has made it quite clear that part of his presidency, if he were to become the declared president by someone other than the media, someone who can actually declare him as the president, would be to introduce a new violence against women bill. Now, how do I know that? Because he has it on his website, joebiden.com/VAWA. And I'm going to bring this page up because I want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. I don't want you guys to think that I'm talking out my ass or I'm making stuff up or, that I'm just being a conspiracy theorist because, this is not conspiracy if you actually see this stuff. I mean, this stuff is real. The Biden plan to end violence against women. Okay. Now, I'm all for ending violence against people, especially in relationships, right? So he wants to, part of this, he'll build on his track record, right? And now it's almost like someone's talking in the third person for him as if Biden didn't actually write this. In addition, President Joe Biden will build on his strong record of getting things done by empowering and protecting our young people and changing the culture that enables sexual violence. What culture, Joe? Would that perhaps be the culture that you've created? That culture? Sniffy sniff Joe Biden? And when you actually go to joebiden.com/VAWA, the first thing that comes up is we are relaunching the Biden Fight Fund, as if you don't have enough Democrat money falling out of your pockets to try and fight any. It says we need to be able to afford the legal battles ahead. Why do you need to fight a legal battle if you have nothing to defend, guys? What are you actually trying to hide? Is my question. But, let's move on. Now, this all links back to the United Nations. And I know you're like, Sydney, you're always talking about the United Nations. And, the United Nations that says, my feminist agenda, generation equality. But that happens to be the United Nations that Joe Biden was previously the vice president of for 8 years. When he was the vice president for 8 years with Obama, he was actually a fixture at the UN General Assembly. All right. So he was very, very much in the thick of the United Nations. And as it so happens, he's actually looking to put Hillary Clinton as his UN ambassador. He's going to put Hillary Clinton as the United Nations ambassador, as if this shit wasn't bad enough. As if putting World Toilet Day on the 19th of November, which is International Men's Day, wasn't bad enough. And of course, then the UN decided to make the 25th of November, 6 days later, as the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Of course, because it's not like every other freaking day they have isn't the day for that. And I know a lot of people say, well, every day is Men's Day, but no. And let me get into this because I've actually got a few things that I need to show you that are really important. Let me just quickly take this share screen off because I found a Facebook post by Joe Biden, and you can go and check this out. Go to Joe Biden's Facebook page if you are on social media and check this out. And I'm going to bring this up on the screen and I'm going to read it out to you. Violence against women and girls is a global epidemic affecting millions. As many as 1 in 3 women is the victim of gender-based violence at some point in her life, and that rate is even higher for women of color, lesbian and bisexual women, transgender individuals, and other members of vulnerable or underserved communities. That meant to say. This year, the COVID-19 pandemic has made matters worse, creating a shadow pandemic for many women and girls who are largely confined to their home with their abuser and facing economic insecurity that makes escape more difficult. Today, on the International Day for the Elimination of Women violence against women, I reaffirm my commitment to restore U.S. leadership in confronting this global scourge. And that starts right here at home. Writing and passing the VAWA as a United States Senator remains one of my proudest legislative achievements. As Vice President, I worked to end the culture of sexual assault and silence in this country by strengthening Title IX protections for students and creating the It's on Us program to help empower people to intervene to prevent sexual assault. As president, the vice president and I will work with the Congress to reauthorize the VAWA Act. We will also address the growing rates of domestic violence and sexual assault during the COVID-19 crisis and restore Title IX protections for student survivors of sexual assault, stalking, and dating violence. Our administration will renew the power of our example overseas and regain global efforts to confront gender-based violence in all its forms. We will ensure that women and girls fleeing gender-based violence in other parts of the world can seek asylum here, and that visas are available in order to protect survivors who are not U.S. citizens. I know I didn't quote that specifically, but that's what I meant. And as Commander-in-Chief, very strong words there, Commander-in-Chief, I command. I'm in command, he says. I will make it a priority at the highest levels to end the scourge of sexual violence and harassment against women service members. So not just all women, just women service members, but of course he does mean all women. He doesn't know what he means half the time. And I'm going to break this down into a few different things because some of you are going, hang on a second. And before I do, thank you to Shane for the super chat, brother. He says, got to run, watch this later, have a beer on me. I appreciate that, Shane. Good to see you, brother. Now, this gets better or worse, depending on what you think. And we've got this here. So let's just hone in on a few things. As many as 1 in 3 women should be but he says is the victim of gender-based violence at some point in her life. And that rate is even higher for women of color. So you mean women from different cultures, is what you're saying. Lesbian, that is relationships with as 2 women and no men, might I add. And bisexual women, which means those women are more likely to be in relationships with other women. And they, therefore, due to the increased rates of violence by women in relationships, which is proven by the higher rates for lesbians, that would increase the rates for bisexual women who are having sex with women also. And transgender individuals, and that would include biological males, by the way, just for the record. So let's tack down onto a couple of other things, because I really want to share these with you. So let's drill down onto Title IX. As Vice President, I worked to end the culture of sexual assault and silence in this country by strengthening Title IX protections for students. And I will work and creating the It's on Us program to help empower people to intervene to prevent sexual assault. So basically, he strengthened Title IX, which basically made it a lot harder for young men who happen to, in some way, be involved in things. But, I digress. So that was the Title IX. Now let's have a quick look at dating violence. We will also address the growing rates of domestic violence and sexual assault during the COVID-19 crisis. So you're not going to address the growing rates outside of it because there were no growing rates. You're just going to address it during the crisis, even though by the time you get to address it, your crisis is probably over. But that's another story. And restore Title IX protections for student survivors. And what you mean by student survivors is people who have made claims, even if they haven't been proven, of sexual assault, stalking, and dating violence. What is dating violence? It means, well, if you're a mean guy to a girl in a relationship, then you're a perpetrator of dating violence. That's what that means. It doesn't apply to girls. We've already made that clear. Even if you're a lesbian, right? Even if you're a lesbian perpetrating violence against other women, men must be the problem. Men must be the ones at fault. That's what they've made clear to us. So then there's this. It says our administration. So is this Kamala Harris speaking, saying our administration, or Biden trying to include Kamala so he doesn't get into trouble with the missus? We will ensure that women and girls fleeing gender-based violence in other parts of the world can seek asylum here, and that visas are available to protect survivors who are not US citizens. So what you are really saying to us in that particular statement, what you're saying to us there is that if you are a woman and you're from another country and you want to come to the United States, what we are going to do for you is we are going to just let you in. We're just going to let you in. You don't need to do anything. You just need to be a victim. That's all you need to be. You don't need to do anything else. Just need to be a victim. And we'll handle the rest for you. Don't you fret. Don't you fret, pet. We'll do everything. Wow. That's pretty telling in itself. I got to be honest with you. And also, writing and passing the Violence Against Women Act as a United States Senator remains one of my proudest legislative achievements. So does that mean that you don't have any other proud achievements, Joe? And if that was your proudest achievement, then it's probably your biggest priority also. And by the way, this visa program is going to mean that anyone from any country in the world can just go to, if they want to come to the US, they don't even need to be in a relationship. They don't even need to be dating anyone. They just need to write to the US and go, oh, I'm in a relationship and he was violent towards me. Oh, come here, sweetheart. Let's give you a visa. That's what's happening. So you're encouraged. Look, and I know there's going to be some people who say, well, you know, there's going to be women in other countries that are genuinely fleeing violence. And I agree. And you could probably flee violence by moving away from it or getting the authorities to intervene. I realize there's some places where the authorities won't intervene, usually patriarchal countries, unlike Australia, unlike America, unlike Scotland, unlike New Zealand, unlike any of the countries that they call patriarchies. So yeah, there's that. And guys, I don't know what else to say other than, in my personal opinion, Biden is a massive, massive hypocrite. You know, because he's trying to end the culture. Trying to end the culture of sexual harassment. Yet that's him. Trying to protect young kids. Like this young kid. This is what we're up against, guys. This is the feminist agenda at play. Mark my words. If he is declared president by someone who actually can declare him and not the media, we're in big trouble. Because everything that happens in America filters down. And if he gets in and he puts Clinton as the ambassador to the United Nations, I'm not a religious man, but dear Lord, it's bad. Anyway, guys, would love to hear what you think about this video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with other people that don't see this. Make sure you comment and please keep it respectful because I'd like to keep the channel around so gentlemen like yourselves can understand what's going on here and find out more information about what is really happening in the world rather than what you will hear in the mainstream media, which is usually untrue because, well, at least when it comes to anything political, because they just can't help themselves. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here for now. I appreciate you. I look forward to catching you in the next video. But until then, and thank you to Shane for the super chat. Peace.